some thoughts also having this morning, gentlemen, about human beings naturally. When people are doing things, I was doing a story about Oprah Winfrey. When Oprah Winfrey was starting her Oprah Winfrey show, she was called a black, incoherent, ugly woman who had nothing to bring on the TV. Today she's worth in excess of $2.6 billion. There are a lot of things that happen. Zingine unafanya kitu Ekuru Aukot, unaanza kama itadwe yako ulianza kimchezo sema that's an underdog. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. But you ended up shaping conversations, And I think there are a lot of people who are struggling with that, where they want to pay attention to what every other person is saying. And most of the time, those people around you have nothing really meaningful to say. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
For me, that somehow triggered a thought about Martin Luther King Jr. When back, he said that I have a dream. And, his dream was that one day, one time, he would see racial equality in the U.S., or that maybe even a black man would become the president of the United States. But what I think captures my mind more is what he said, that if you cannot fly, run. And if you can't run, walk. And if you can't walk, crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving. Keep moving. Yeah. So I think in this country, even with the things that are happening in our country today, the wrong prioritization of what ails Kenya, and I say this, Bitok, with a lot of actually pain and sympathy to our nation. That today I woke up to news, or yesterday, that the mayor of California, has ordered a lockdown, total lockdown. I think it's the mayor of Los Angeles. California is one of the biggest economies in the world, because they are prioritizing lives over politics, over anything else. Countries like the United Kingdom have already ordered over 40 million vaccines. Germany has done the same thing. They're already preparing, spaces where people will go for vaccination. But, when I think about what's happening in our country today, it really, really, really pains me that doctors and nurses are about to go on strike. We don't know about school opening. About 7 million small businesses have been shut down. Unemployment rates, people have lost jobs, people are being auctioned. But look at what the top leadership of this country is prioritizing. A constitutional referendum, which does not even have head or tail, and allocating 14 billion to that constitutional referendum. When that 14 billion could actually even revamp small businesses, could put money into people's pockets, could help nurses, could buy PPEs. Today as we speak, Bitok, even the free masks that were given by Jack Ma, that billionaire Chinese, have not reached our villages. But the BBI signature collection forms are already in the villages being enforced by chiefs, ward administrators, and that before you are now given any service in any public office, you must sign. This is a very sorry state of affairs in our country. And really, it makes me wonder, who bewitched us? I don't believe in witchcraft, but at this rate... At
times you have to ask yourself, ni kama hiki tu iko. Zingine unakaa mpaka unajiambia ni kama hiki tu.
Ni kama tu iko. Sababu, ama daktari Ojwang. When you think about some of the unorthodox things that are happening in our country at a time of, desperation and need, wouldn't you really sometimes think that, or believe witchcraft is actually real, and that somebody actually is performing it so successfully?
Witchcrafts have always been real.
And Bitok, you and I were chatting earlier before, and you're asking me, why are political leaders in this country flip-flopping? So one minute they are against BBI, the next minute they are not sure. I'll tell you this, Bitok. Wewe huwezi kukataa mama yako hata ukiambia mama yako ni mchawi.
Nasema bado ni mama yangu.
Bado ni mama yangu.
Mama ni mama.
Mama ni mama. Utasema tu watu wanaonea mama yangu. Hata kama mama yako ni mchawi. Most of these leaders, if you look at them, they are creatures of this very, very corrupt system. So you cannot live. They will have to survive somehow. So that for me is really sad.
It's a pursuit of personal survival.
Oh yeah, it's about their survival. It's not about country. It's not really about country. Because if it was about country, we would be able now to say what really is the priority for Kenya today as we speak. You will have a leadership that will be able to have that kind of discourse and debate. But, you know, like I keep on saying, you know, me, I always get reminded of the words of, you know, that philosopher, Plato, that say that one of the consequences of us refusing to participate in politics is that we'll be governed by our inferiors. So let's leave the consequences as Kenyans. Because today, you know, many things are happening, many things are going wrong, but the leadership in the country is not bothered, is not thinking about it. They are thinking about how do we, actually we have become a visionless country, that our only vision today is 2022. You know,
and actually, had a preacher who was talking about that. JB Masinde from Deliverance.
Exactly.
I know you want to really love to hear the same video. But anyway, Ojwang, even before you go to that, Sonko has been impeached. Talking about consequences, Sonko has been impeached. Sonko had 57 MCAs in Mombasa. And the total is 122. How did the system? But how did the system? Yes, Kwale. And how did the system come up with 88 out of 122? When you minus 57 from 122, you get 65.
If you Safaricom, there's something called top-up. There's even Fuliza. You can even Fuliza MCS.
Only Fuliza Kura.
But you know, there's... my grandmother kept saying that there is... If you have to do a wrong thing, do it the right way. And that really, how can... So don't do a wrong thing
in a wrong
do
way.
it also a wrong way. That is 2 strikes, isn't it? So here, even the impeachment of Sonko is a wrong thing, the wrong way. BBI is a wrong thing, the wrong way. If you have to do one evil, do the wrong thing, but try to at least do the right process as you are doing the wrong thing. Look at it, you know, I think there's consensus that there is less love for Sonko. There are people who don't feel that Sonko deserves to be a governor. But you see, it's not about Sonko, it's what devolution is about. That devolution and the spirit of devolution was actually to check the imperial presidency, isn't it? That we are moving power from the center, and we are devolving power, responsibility, authority, functions. So the spirit of devolution, of coming with 48 excellencies. And remember, when we had this conversation, are they excellency, are they not? That I'm here, I'm told excellency is coming, I'm thinking president is coming, it's just a mere governor. Get over it. We decided to create 48
it's not in the constitution, Doc.
That
it is tied to excellency. They just gave it to themselves, but actually it's not in the Katiba.
No, they did, and there was time they were trying to regulate even and saying who can be called excellencies. And
even
of course,
the wife of an MCA now is got a first lady.
And let her be. Let her be first lady. Though I wonder how you are first lady if you are the only lady. You know, if you are in a class where you are only one student and you are number one, it doesn't make sense to be number one. So the spirit of devolution and what is happening is beyond Sonko. So whether you love Sonko or not, the imperial presidency that can decide to come down to county and deal and remove that and create a parallel system and then remove that governor that they don't like. That is affront to devolution, not to Sonko. And that is what offend the spirit of the constitution, which was that, you know, the whole constitution experiment.
I think it's Doc. I think it was Senior Counsel James Orengo who put it aptly that one day the government will eat its own people. So I think Sonko is being eaten by his own government.
Revolution is its own.
But still, of course, it was Orengo took that quote from Aukot and he didn't acknowledge that it's not his.
Yes.
And you can even see throughout his flip-flop himself that that quote is not his, because his character practically you can see it was a borrowed. It's like you borrow assignment.
You forgot to borrow the characters.
So in other words, it's an intellectual dishonesty.
No, yes, it is from Aukot. It's not him.
Yes.
And now he's smiling gleefully as he's being associated with this. It was Robert Aukot's quote, Dr. Aukot's quote.
Dr. Aukot.
But beyond that, then let him grow the character to fit that. Because you cannot say revolution eats its own baby while you are on the door,
On the laps
way
of
out
the-
to this monster who eats the baby.
But maybe it's in the eating party.
Yeah, but then you don't need. So then that quote become inconsistent.
Yes.
Because your action preach louder than what. But beyond that, what we are seeing is that Jubilee government have never been friends of devolution. Aukot. And your bill,
Even friends of the country.
even the friends of the country.
Yes.
But yes, but we are in counties.
Yes.
So the people are in county. And this county was to bring check and balance. The only imperial presidency, even when we talk of winner take it all, was that we are, as long as we have a powerful president who can use the police, they can use NIS, can use the state machinery during election and even after, then we really can't do anything about winner takes it all. It's the imperial presidency that can marshal and can have all these actors that can go and send police on their own, knowing that we are helping the bigger cause, decide to tear gas Sonko as he's meeting to plan about his impeachment. And the motion can pass without any debate. Within the first mention, it has passed.
And people voted remotely.
And people voted remotely and cocktail, some there, some remotely and all that. So, but look at the war against devolution. Look at how much, when we used to have Isaac Ruto, when we used to have people who will speak truth to power.
Isaac Ruto, another flip-flopper.
Of late, the pre-flip-flop. But now,
The earlier version.
the earlier version. Not
Isaac Ruto 1.0.
Ruto 2.
Not 2.0.
But now, look at, there is no county, there is no governor. It's either intimidation through your tax, through NIS, through the report.
Through the theft also.
Yes, you must do A, B, C, D, and that is bad governance. And that is really weakening, because when you weaken counties and you weaken devolution, you have weakened check and balance. You have weakened rule of law. And you have weakened the voice of the people, because people live in the county and remember the principle of subsidiarity, that the decision must be done at the lowest unit. That is where Kenyans are. So we are seeing a system where the constitution is saying these are distinct governments. They should only cooperate with respect and consult and with equality.
Article
Yes,
6.
but look at it when you are called to state house. So what Sonko called out was that this thing of you deciding, and a lot of bad things have been done by people who mean well. Even if you give the excellency the benefit of doubt that this military guy can do a better job. That you decide that I'm going to bring military guy. You bring in Sonko. In his account, he's saying he was told sign between the dotted lines.
He didn't know.
He didn't know, and
But
that.
why didn't he read? And Sonko is a graduate. Why didn't Sonko read?
Aukot, what are your thoughts on this?
I was just saying,
What are your thoughts on Sonko's impeachment? As well?
First of all,
And the threat of devolution.
I think Bitok, I hope I will survive living here. I think I want to be brutally honest.
Please.
I think the number one enemy of this country now has turned out to be the presidency. Like Doc has ably explained. We are back to the time of imperial presidency, where things are being forced onto Kenyans, whether Kenyans like it or not. So for me, it is sad to say that I actually thought that President Uhuru will fare well. But President Uhuru has proved that actually he has no, I think, capacity, to be honest, even a policy direction for this country, where the country must go. I think he honestly does not know how to govern the country. And which is why you can see, if he cannot govern, or he cannot consult and cooperate with a governor, he creates a parallel system called, for example, NMS. Nairobi Metropolitan Service, and then brings in a military person. You can see the militarization, for example, of the ESCC and many institutions. So that is ruled by fiat, ruled by fear, ruled by force. And I think this is where we are today, that we cannot even sit and discuss. You saw, for example, what happened, the changes in the leadership, in the Senate, in the National Assembly. It was by force. It was to achieve a certain objective of mine. Because I believe that the presidency as a power on its own can be very persuasive. You can actually sit down with people and say, listen, I know you hold a different political persuasion than mine, but if we put the country, Kenya, first, and say, okay, these are your responsibilities, these are my responsibilities. How do we serve the people we call Kenyans today? So for me, that is one of the failings, the greatest failings of this government. I don't even want to go to the promises they made to Kenyans. Come to think of it, somebody who lies to a child that I will give you a peremende or a sweet, and you don't give that. And I'm assuming now, let's equate the laptop to the peremende. You don't do that to a child. And that's what Jubilee government has done to our children. That's what Jubilee government is doing to us as Kenyans. And I think it's a big failure. And to be honest with you, one of the legacy of President Uhuru will just be written in one line, or one word, or two words: a failed government.
Failed. Let's talk about Sonko. There was a court injunction. There was actually a court order that the MCA should not discuss it.
Sonko's problem is internal. It's part of the bad system that we call Kenya, the governance in this country. Sonko, remember, is a Jubilee governor. Yeah. He campaigned, and there's a time Sonko will literally kill you for Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah. If you remember.
My president.
He will literally chase you out of Nairobi because of Uhuru Kenyatta. Now the same government has actually come to bite Sonko. And when I saw yesterday, I was watching the videos of these MCAs trying to defend Sonko. I asked myself, what were they doing in Kwale, holidaying, when there was a serious motion in the county assembly? They cannot come and start moralizing Kenyans and saying, oh, my signature was forged. They were ferried to Kwale to try and defeat a constitutional process. Impeachment is part of the constitutional process. So they should have been there to say, as a representative of this ward, I disagree with this, and debate the issues. They refused. So Sonko, I think, is being eaten by his own government.
So the guys played Sonko. The one they were with.
Sonko alichezwa. In fact, I don't even trust some of those MCAs. I believe some of those MCAs actually voted to impeach Sonko while they were still feasting in his lavish or hotel, in his money,
in his M-Pesa account.
And the truth be told, tuacha kudanganyana, this is Kenya. Bitok, we may have been born at night, but I don't think it was last night. We know what transpired. We know people are ferried, wakapatiwa allowances. Baada ya kukula allowances,
but they were standing there with the placard. What time were they voting?
Hizo zote ni vile what Sonko calls cinemares, vipindirez. Hizo ni mavipindirez tu. Because hata Sonko mwenyewe, I'm sure Sonko anajua alichezwa tu.
But what do you think about the constitutional process in the whole thing? Because there was a court order that they should not discuss or should not proceed with the impeachment motion. These are two conflicting constitutional harms.
I'm not even sure whether in the context of this government we can even discuss about respect for the rule of law, respect for court orders, respect for the constitution. This government has proven over and over again that it does not care about the constitution, it does not care about court orders, it has defied court orders. President Uhuru, there is an order compelling him to actually swear in the 41 judges. He has refused. He has disobeyed many court orders. So, for them, I don't even think it's a misnomer for me to discuss court orders in the context of Jubilee government, because I don't think they care really about constitutionality. They don't care about the rule of law. They don't care about even the arrangements. Look at when they starved counties from just revenue allocation alone. It's a constitutional. So, who are we talking about constitution? And this brings another point, fundamental point, Bitok, that people who are opposed to BBI keep on saying that let's implement this current constitution. And the question I keep on asking, who will implement this constitution? The very, very people who keep on violating this constitution, if you look at the choreography towards the next leadership in this country, it's from the same people who are actually violating this constitution.
Yeah.
So I feel it is naive of us to begin to think about or to talk about respecting the constitution in the context of Jubilee administration. Jubilee administration does not care about the constitution.
The constitution is not one of their businesses.
It's not one of their business. Their biggest business is about our personal interest, about our survival. And what Jubilee has successfully done, and maybe this is one of the geniuses of Uhuru Kenyatta, if you have to grant him that analogy, is to buy Baba and to bring Baba on board, Raila Odinga.
He bought Baba.
This is the genius of Uhuru Kenyatta, political presidency, to bring Baba on board so that it justifies. He has killed
the voices of noise
opposition.
makers.
He has killed democracy inside Bunge. He has killed democracy inside the Senate. He has actually he's killing democracy successfully. And people are jumping into this bandwagon called, Jubilee administration. So even people who are pretending for many years, donkey years, that they are the saviors of this country, they are the doyens of democracy. In fact, the only doyen of democracy I can associate is Ajuma, the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. The rest are flip-floppers, as we have already established here. They're dancing to the tune of
the system.
So I think for me,
So Sonko akunywa maji.
constitutionalism today is just theory. Maybe this is Dr. Ojwang is teaching to his students. It's just
It's a lecture.
Constitutionalism as a lecture, but in the
It's a public lecture.
The context like it's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing, but in the context of practicing it, in this, and Doc can elaborate more on that.
Daktari.
I think it's academic exercise.
I mean, what is the
You know that thing where when things are not practical, we put it to be academic. It's really disrespect to the academic world, because I mean, academic is real world, and academic is very important, offering solution to real problem, not hypothetical. But anyway, so what I'm thinking, nobody, even if you're a Christian, even God, I don't follow God blindly. So why should I follow politician blindly? Why should you follow BBI blindly? If even God you are not following blindly. So I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, you know what? To be honest, we are not going to create our own new people. We are not going to do a reversed DNA and undo Sonko. Sonko is a Kenyan. He has been a senator and is a governor. We are not going to undo Oparanya. We are not going to undo Orengo. We are not going to undo Joho. They are there. So I'm looking at a way that we accept that Sonko could have made mistakes, but when Sonko is saying the right thing, we can also accept that Sonko, you are saying the right thing. Remember, coming to this, Sonko had questioned forceful eviction openly and clearly. Coming to this, Sonko had questioned, even when he appeared that he wanted to work with the government on with the NMS, but he had questioned the secretiveness, the idea that the general body is only answerable to the president. How can that be devolution?
It cannot be.
Ati nimemlete hapo anafanya kazi yake. No, I mean, read the constitution. It is us Kenyans who let people there. Even if we have brought Sonko, respect our idiot. Because we are the people, isn't it? We are the sovereign. It's our idiot. It's ours. You might have your genius, but you have no power to bring that genius on us. Isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
So whether Sonko is whatever, is the people's idiot. He has been put there. And I'm not saying he's an idiot. I'm saying worst case scenario for all those. Oh my goodness, Sonko is not. And let us be honest. What is education? Nyong'o is supporting BBI.
Yes.
So what have you seen much difference between those who have gone to school and those who have not gone to school? Especially this formal
professors,
this formal education of Kenya, which is overrated.
Yes.
Have you seen difference?
No.
Joe is doing just well.
Yes.
With his certificates or the lack of them thereof. Awit is just here doing whatever. So
Awit is busy dancing.
Awit is busy dancing and dancing very well.
Awit is a Kuba.
Let us put an adjective. Awit danced well. So what is this hype about education? If we as the people put Sonko there, and I'm not saying I voted for him, I voted at home, but if the people put him there,
in fact it was the president's choice.
Yes. So but people confirmed it through ballot.
Yeah.
You cannot then decide.
Not just once,
that
twice.
Twice.
A senator, a governor.
And a governor.
Yes.
Yes. So in fact, you can say that he has a very good career politically. He has.
Yes.
So then you cannot. Nobody, an institution. You know, if Constitution was doing anything, and this is not academic, was to restrain the government. That is all, isn't it? That's why it's the social contract.
Yes.
There is nothing else. If it's a good constitution and it adds a few things, like it adds Bill of Rights, then that is even a bonus. But the function of constitution is simply to restrain the government, isn't it? More so the presidency. So if the president is very comfortable that huyo mtu wangu nimemlete hapo, and you are talking of devolution, which was supposed to check you, and then you are telling the governor that take the money and give it to that person, and then when the governor is questioning things like eviction, you don't need to be a good person to question eviction.
Yeah.
Even if you are the worst person, but you have questioned eviction, we should agree that there you are right. There was court order. It wasn't lawyers who have been enforcing a rule of law here. It wasn't lawyers who are telling the government that no, you violated the eviction orders. It was Sonko. And so Sonko here became an ally of rule of law. Sonko here became an ally of the rule of law and the help to question forced eviction. Sonko here questioned the President's Act as he's supposed to do because these governments are supposed to cooperate. And so when he's being removed by strong arms, there is no guarantee that another good governor will not be removed or has been intimidated. And that is the reality, that whether you like Sonko or not, he is being removed by strong arms because he has been disagreed with politically. The MCAs have simply been turned to a robot and voting machine, getting orders from the upper houses.
But MCAs wananyorosha kila mtu, hata mimi nilinyoroshwa kwa county assemblies.
Wewe uko governor?
No, but punguza mizigo. Nilipeleka punguza mizigo. Wakaninyorosha.
Wakakupunguza.
But at least they debated it.
You know, joke, eh? This MCAs.
But two wrongs does not make a right. So kama ulinyoroshwa, umenyoroshwa na Sonko. So you
We
should
respect
empathize with Sonko.
We respect your munyorosho.
Let me tell you what happened. In some of the, you know, I find I have a problem with also the way the MCAs behave themselves. Because the problem also sometimes, they are so politically convenient that even in the case of, say, Punguza Mizigo Bill 2019, they actually, some of them refuse even to debate it. If I remember, for example, in Homa Bay, in Siaya, they are even saying kitu gani, Akuru Aukot. They called me names, you know. I mean, at least 29 county assemblies, debated. But in others, they even refuse. They say, no, we don't. Yet the bill was actually going to benefit them. So I think one of the things, Doc, we need to put on the table here is when we talk about the role of MCAs. Do MCAs actually today even represent the people from the wards that elected them?
That's why they shouldn't impeach.
Yeah.
That's why they shouldn't impeach.
No, but if devolution is not helping, is not serving them right, yeah. If devolution is not serving them right, then, why shouldn't they impeach? Because, for example, I will tell you, when I was promoting the Punguza Mizigo Bill, 2019, most of the MCAs told me that one of the problems they have in giving services or rendering services in their respective wards was the fact that if they are not in good terms with a governor, they are literally being denied services. So they have to beg. And when I told them, I am proposing to amend the constitution to create what is called the Ward Development Fund, so that you in your ward can decide what are the priorities in my ward. Do I want to fix water? Do I want to fix electricity? Is it a bridge that has broken down? Is it a hospital? Ward Development Fund. And we had even allocated 100 million per ward. Okay? But the same MCAs refused this bill. They have to go and beg the governor. So, until the MCAs themselves become independent of the governor and represent the people, then we still have a problem with devolution.
Okay.
In the Punguza Mizigo Kenya revamped bill, I'm even proposing to give county assemblies autonomy, financial autonomy over the county. But you will still find the same MCAs are not buying into it. They think that their jobs are permanent. And if you look at, for example, someone like Sonko, I mean, and I sympathize with his political problems. Sometimes even the way Sonko and other governors behave towards, say, the presidents or even their party leadership, it's like their jobs are permanent. They don't look at the people they're actually supposed to serve. It's about self-service. It's me. And that's why they from the very beginning, they spend so much energy fighting about how I should be referred to. His Excellency? Is it Honorable Governor? Is it I don't know who? Even their wives should be called first ladies in the county. Very irrelevant things.
Aspirations.
Compared to service delivery to the people. And I think for me, until this country gets the Ojwangs, the Bitoks, and the Ekuru Aukots in charge, hopefully that we will still walk the kind of speak that we are, we are talking about.
Nothing will change
today, and nothing changes.
But Doc, we have to work with those who are there, and then they push, they became excellency, then act excellency.
One of the things that I've refused, even right now, sometimes I find it very difficult when I walk around and people call me Honorable Mheshimiwa. So I keep on asking guys, what is Mheshimiwa about me? Because I am not even elected. I don't have a seat. So I think Kenyans need to change their mindset. This thing of revering, referring to leaders as Mheshimiwa, Your Excellency. When there is nothing excellency about them, when there is nothing honorable about them. Actually, a lot of times, it is very dishonorable things that they are doing to the country. Like now, if you look at, for example, the way the country is being treated in the midst of this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic. All that I can see is very dishonorable acts from the leadership. But you will still hear the same Kenyan saying, honorable. Look, the same government has a policy in place that says do not gather more than certain number of people. But are you seeing the crowds signing for BBI signature? So I think there is something psychic, seriously wrong with the Kenyan national psyche. Maybe it's about about time some experts psychoanalyzes Kenyans to find out exactly what is our problem.
We need psychotic analysis.
I think we need some psychotic analysis because, seriously, even as you are starving, you are hungry, you don't know where to get the next meal. But a politician comes by, and you go there listening to rubbish being told to you. I think we have a problem. We have a problem as a country.
Ojwang, even to talk about the leadership, there's something that Dr. is talking about is the point of handover. Handover of power to a different mindset. The other day, the deputy president has been very critical of the BBI process, even the document, and he has come out very strongly many times to say that he does not support the process, he does not support the document, the deputy president. the other day he had a meeting with over 150 MPs and governors allied to him. And he came out, it was not very clear what he was saying. And he has been accused of being a watermelon. He's still insisting that we need to have a consensus. Ojwang, what do you think? He has been accused of being a new watermelon, a new Kalonzo.
A new watermelon.
Watermelon is a watermelon. We are adding more watermelons.
Right, watermelonness. Or a melon. Let's just say a melon. You can be. There's various fruits there's various types of melons.
Yeah.
I think that at this point it's more of the political strategy that he's trying to employ.
Strategy or survival, Doc?
But that is strategy.
Survival
You have
strategy.
to be strategic to survive.
You know, I'm thinking, strategy connotes a more serious, well-thought, intellectually thought, approach. But when it's about survival, it's like you are groping. There may not be any informed.
But all the strategy, the most important aspect of any strategy is to survive. Isn't it? Because we first survive, then we do other things. So it is self-preservation, and maybe not thriving. You know, they say that never start a war that you cannot defeat or win. Sorry, never start a war that you cannot win. And only a fool will start a war that they cannot win. I think that DP, to be honest, is looking at the will of the state and how they are going to ram their way through this. And he's saying that they will, one, destroy anything on their path, but two, they are going to maybe have their way through the strong underhand. So then, do I want to be associated or to give them the dignity of a fight so that they feel they were fighting somebody, but they are fighting using the state system? So I think that is why he does not want to really be associated with yes or no and with the sweet victory. And so he's lowering the political victory for whoever is fighting BBI. Because I honestly think that those who are pushing for BBI are not so much they don't care about the provisions. It is the politics around BBI. For example, for one side it will be we have pushed through and nobody has stopped our reggae. The other side it will be, you know what, we have also we have isolated more those who want to be isolated. You are seeing Mudavadi amenata hapo anasema, I'm not isolatable. So I don't know whether that makes them watermelon. But again, finally, I'm looking.
What is your analysis? What's your analysis from his strategy? Also yesterday from the interview that he did.
Orange,
There are many fruits, okay? There are many melons. But my analysis is this. As somebody, the reason I don't go to most of these shows, it's usually run in terms of yes or no.
That's true.
And as an academician, I want to say yes, but they don't want that.
Yes.
I want to say no, but let me explain. I might agree with them, but not from the perspective they're coming from. They are not interested in that. They are interested in bumper sticker. Yes, no. Yes, no. Anybody, there's only two chances. It's like a teacher asking you, did Kenya get independent in 1964? And then somebody's trying to think. And no, it's simple. You have 50-50 chance of getting it. You can even guess and it's okay. So whenever somebody is moving beyond yes or no, and want nuance into this debate, then we say that is being watermelon. In fact, we are being counter-intellectual. Because, life is not simply yes or no, Aukot.
That's true.
Life is complex.
Yes.
Constitution is complex. Yes. The issues are complex. These are about how many chapters of Constitution that they're trying to
About 13 out of the 18.
About 13
Okay,
out
they
of
are almost
everything.
rewriting.
They have something for every chapter of the Constitution. So now, when you want
But
to
some
simply...
of the proposals are also very frivolous. Like, for example, you don't need to amend the Constitution to give a tax holiday.
Right.
You don't need to amend the Constitution to give a 7-year moratorium on paying of help. Most of the things that they are proposing, Doc, are very administrative. They are policy issues. They are legislative. Very little actually is constitutional. In fact, in terms of constitutionality, the idea that let's now write a constitution, the principle should be, what is it that we actually want to protect or entrench? Maybe because we fear that there is manipulation. For example, you may not even need to amend the Constitution to increase allocation to the county. Although I am one of the proponents of increasing more money to the counties. My idea of amending the Constitution to increase more money to the county is informed by that I want to entrench it so that nobody plays around with it. Because the current Constitution, Doc, as you ably know, it says at least 15%. Yeah. So again, if you're enjoying power, presidential power, this presidential fiat, nothing stops you from saying, let's allocate 80% or even 50%. So you don't need to make it actually a constitutional argument.
You can actually allocate 100%.
You can allocate even 100% because, again, the people of Kenya...
So if you devolve all the functions, then you drive all the money down.
My idea of amending the Constitution through Punguza Mizigo to increase more money to the country is because I want to secure it. Because currently they are not securing. But back to the Ruto issue, if I may comment.
Yes.
I think he's a lifeline for Ruto. This thing of... being ignored, and which is why he was going Tanga, because now he had no job. Nobody's consulting him. So he went Tanga. He was in churches, he was everywhere. So this thing is now giving him a lifeline, a political lifeline to come back to the center. And Ruto knows that. Number two, I used the analogy earlier on that if you look at, for example, we talk this kind in terms of individuals sometimes, which saddens me. We discussed it with them. These are political creatures of this system. They are political creatures of this system. They cannot run away. Like I used analogy earlier on. Hata ukiambiwa mama yako ni mchawi, huwezi kumkataa. You can actually come and say, oh, watu wanaonea mamangu, maybe they don't. Today I can pull your CV online and I can tell Dr. Ojwang has gone to this university, has taught here, has worked here. Can you pull the CV of William Ruto online?
I don't know.
Or can say this is where he has worked other than being a member of parliament, a minister. So their political survival, even their own political... It will not surprise me, Doc, and I'm not a prophet, neither am I the son of one, but I can tell you, I can see another NAC scenario building up through this BBI. I see a 202 situation where the William Rutos, the Mudavadis, the Kalonzo Musyokas and the rest, and the Railas, the Urus will form another coalition government in the pretext we want to unite Kenya, because that's what we were treated to in 202 until the referendum of 205 happened. Then ikasambaratika. So tusidanganyane, this is all choreographed for them to remain in government. Remember, one of the passions of this BBI is to expand the executive, to create this prime minister position, the deputies, and then accommodate all these people. And that's why each one of them is clamoring. They want to own a region. They want to own a people. They want to own MPs. So that tomorrow they can say, no, I come into this coalition because this is what I'm bringing on the table. So we are seeing another coalition in the making, actually, if you ask me.
So William Ruto is pursuing a coalition? Oh,
yeah, he'll definitely be there. In fact, even this pretense that, look, I like start giving an example. We keep on saying Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were abusing each other in 2017. Mwingine sijui anamuita mwingine mlevi, mwingine sijui mganga, sijui nini, driver mlevi, conductor mwizi. Mwingine sijui ni eventually these people come together. It is you, the people of Kenya, who are on your own.
Wow. And
you are the ones actually who are giving fodder. You are feeding, you are fattening these individuals. So when they come together, in fact, what surprises me is that Kenyans are surprised that Uhuru and Ruto or Raila can come together. That's what surprises me.
Right.
That we are even surprised. That is a surprise. These people always come together. It's always about them.